Good morning, I hope you're doing fine. In this video I'm gonna look at what exactly will happen to Bitcoin on 1st of August and how is that situation gonna affect an average user. Now I'm not gonna go into too much technical details since at the end of the day an average user of Bitcoin doesn't really care about that. So yeah, let's get onto it. So what's going on currently with Bitcoin? The blocks are becoming too big, and that results in high fees, low transaction throughput, and slow transactions. So obviously if you recently sent out any Bitcoin, you have noticed that the fees are getting through the roof and the transactions are being very slow. So multiple different solutions were proposed to solve the scaling issue. However, there wasn't a single one that was selected by everyone. And in situations like that, obviously several smaller Bitcoin alternatives are being released. So in the past we had Bitcoin Plus, Bitcoin XT, recently Bitcoin Unlimited became a thing. However, on 1st of August, an important fork of the main Bitcoin is going to happen, and that Bitcoin is and that fork is set to affect the price of Bitcoin as well as all of the other altcoins, since the price of altcoins is usually connected to Bitcoin. So let's have a look at exactly what is the issue with the split. So a chain split like that creates a high risk situation. Bitcoin's price and volume are both expected to drop. A well-known previous example of this was Ethereum and Ethereum Classic split, where the Ethereum price fell from $20 to under $10 in like a week. So it basically lost half of the value. Since Bitcoin is the biggest cryptocurrency in the world, it is expected that the uncertainty will affect prices for all of the other coins as well. Now, I believe we actually seeing that happening already. In the last few weeks, the price been quite steady, but it wasn't rising like it has been for the last few months. So I think that that split is already affecting the price. So exactly what's gonna happen on 1st of August? So a user activated soft fork UASF as described in Bitcoin Improvement Proposal 148. So we're going to call it BIP 148 is going to go live. Any Bitcoin blocks that do not signal support for segregated witness SegWit will be rejected. Now what is SegWit? SegWit is going to increase the Bitcoin's block size limit and is going to allow the implementation of a second layer solutions for further improvement. One of those improvements is something called Lightning Network, and that allows for a massive increase in the network capacity by moving bulk of transactions off the blockchain for quick processing. So essentially it's just going to be a new technology that's going to make Bitcoin slightly faster and going to solve some of the issues that it's currently facing. However, that split is going to also create other issues. So let's have a look at the first scenario. So the first scenario is when the majority of hash power signals support for SegWit through that update, then the protocol upgrade will activate smoothly. So essentially means that the SegWit will be activated on the Bitcoin, and in that case there shouldn't be any issues and you shouldn't really worry about it. Obviously the price and volume of Bitcoin at this time, as well as other altcoins, is still expected to take a hit, since we do not really know what's going to happen. But this is one of the scenarios. It's probably the best scenario. However, there are other scenarios as well. So the first one is the split possibilities where the legacy chain is being discarded. So first of all, I'm going to call BIP Bitcoin the new Bitcoin with SegWit, and the legacy Bitcoin as the old Bitcoin. So if at any point or on or after August the 1st, the BIP Bitcoin chain becomes the chain with most accumulated proof of work, both BIP Bitcoin as well as the legacy Bitcoin nodes would switch to the BIP Bitcoin chain. That basically means that the legacy Bitcoin should be discarded, and that should resolve the situation. So essentially it will be just a temporary split between the Bitcoins, but at the end it would still come down to just one, the new BIP Bitcoin. However, that means if at any time around the 1st of August you own the legacy Bitcoins, they might just disappear if the BIP Bitcoin chain overtakes the legacy Bitcoin chain. That means, if you own any of the legacy Bitcoins, it's recommended that you basically sell them and you do not buy any new ones or accept any legacy Bitcoin, because it might literally just become useless and disappear. So that's one of the possibilities, to basically avoid the old Bitcoin if that happens. Now there's another possibility. There is a possibility that the BIP Bitcoin, so the new Bitcoin, will never acknowledge the legacy chain. So there will be no switch regardless of which chain has more hash power. So that essentially means that each Bitcoin would be copied to both chains. So if you hold any Bitcoin right now, you will probably hold both BIP Bitcoin, so the new Bitcoin, and the legacy Bitcoin, so the old Bitcoin after the split. That sounds great, but it's gonna also create issues, because in this situation there will be essentially two separate Bitcoins, but they will still could interact with each other through something called replay attack, and this could seriously affect the transactions volume and price of both BIP and legacy Bitcoins. Now let's have a look at replay attack in a bit more detail, because it's quite important. So in case if that happens, the transactions on both sides of the fork will look identical. So if a transaction is picked by the BIP Bitcoin and the legacy Bitcoin nodes, the receiver of transaction retransmits that transaction, and that means the transaction may be valid of both chains. What could that mean? That could mean that spending coins on one end of the chain could make you accidentally spend the equivalent coin on the other side of the chain. So if you're trying to send legacy Bitcoins, you could send BIP Bitcoins and stuff like that, essentially. So it's not great. Also, storing coins on exchanges and custodial wallets in the situation could be risky too. So essentially it means that you might, you will not receive your coins. You might receive wrong coins. You might not receive any coins at all. Your coins on exchanges could disappear. So because those exchanges might not be prepared to handle the fork. So we essentially do not know exactly what's going to happen. But there could be several issues. Now there are some solutions that you could take. There are some things that you could do to kind of solve, well, not really solve, but deal with those problems. So first of all, make sure you own your own wallet and you control your private keys to that wallet, either through wallet applications stored on your own device or paper wallets. Essentially make sure the wallet is yours. Do not send any transactions for a few days, weeks after the fork happens, at least not until it is clearer to what the situation looks like. So around 1st of August and a few days, maybe possibly even weeks after 1st of August, do not use Bitcoin, essentially. And once you do know exactly what happens once the fork is live, make sure to use correct wallets to store correct coins. Obviously that means in a situation when both coins, new Bitcoin and old Bitcoin, exist, that it might still just be one Bitcoin. We do not know. That's the problem. And last but not least, be patient and hold tight. The value of cryptocurrencies might fall by a lot. Now, I personally believe the split is already affecting the price, so it might be not as bad as people think. But I think the price might still be affected. And not just Bitcoin, obviously, but all of the other altcoins as well. So just be patient and make sure not to panic sell, because I think the price will rise by a lot once we do actually know what the situation looks like. So there you have it. I hope that video was useful. If it was, like it and leave a comment. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thank you.